Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. विश्वपाद परमहंस परिव्राजक आचार्य श्री श्रीमद अभय चरणारविंद भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजक आचार्य श्री श्रीमद भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती ठाकुर प्रभुपाद महाराज की अनंत कोटि वैष्णवृंद की, नामाचार्य श्री हरिदास ठाकुर की, प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्री वासादि गौर भक्तवृंद की, श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपिका श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरी गोवर्धन की, श्री वृंदावन धाम की, नवदीप मायापुर धाम की, श्री क्षेत्र जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की, गंगा माई की, यमुना माई की, तुलसी देवी की, भक्ति देवी की, सामवेद भक्तवृंद की, all glories to the assembled deities, all glories to the assembled deities, all glories to the assembled deities, all glories to Shri Guru and Gaurang, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. So we are reading from Canto 3rd, chapter 5th, text number 15. Title Vidura Talks with Maitreya. 15, yeah. You did 14th, I think. So, yeah. Tata asya kosharva sharmadhatu hare katam katasu saram udrutya pushpebhya iva अर्थबंधो शिवाय न कीर्तय तीर्थ कीर्तेह तदस्य कोशर्व शर्मधातु तदस्य कौशार्व शर्मधातु हरे कथामेव कथासु सारम् उद्धृत्य पुष्पेभ्य इवार्तबन्धो शिवाय न कीर्तय तीर्थकीर्तेः तदस्य कोशार्व शर्मधातु हरेर कथामेव कथासु सारम् उद्धृत्य पुष्पेभ्य इवार्तबन्धो शिवाय न कीर्तय तीर्थकीर्तिः तदस्य कौशार्व शर्मधातु हरे कथाम कथासु सारम् उद्धृत्य पुष्पेभ्य इवार्तबन्धो शिवाय न कीर्तय तीर्थकीर्तेः तदस्य कौशार्व शर्मधातुर् हरे कथामेव कथासु सारम् उद्धृत्य पुष्पेभ्य इवार्तबन्धो शिवाय कीर्ततीर्थे तदस्य कौशार्व शर्मधातुर् हरे कथामेव कथासु सारम् उद्धृत्य पुष्पेभ्य इवार्तबन्धो शिवाय न कीर्तय तीर्थकीर्तेः. Anybody else from the Prabhus? तदस्य कौशार्व शर्मधातुर् हरे कथामेव कथासु सारम् उद्धृत्य पुष्पेभ्य इवार्तबन्धो शिवाय न कीर्तय तीर्थकीर्तेः. माताजी Tadasya kausharva sharma dhatu Hare katameva kata susaram Udritya pushpebhya ivartha bandho Shivaya kirtaya tirtha kirte Arasya kausharva dhatu Hare katameva kata susaram Udritya pushpebhya ivartha bandho Shivayana kirtaye tirtha kirte. Okay, word to word meaning. Tat, therefore, asya, his, kausharva, O Maitreya, sharma dhatu, of one who awards good fortune, Hare, of the Lord, Katham, topics, Eva, only, Kathasu, of all topics, Saram, the essence, Udritya, by quoting, Pushpebhya, from the flowers, Eva, like that, Arthabandho, O friend of the distress, Sivaya, for welfare, Nah, of us. Kirtaya, kindly describe. Tirtha, pilgrimage. Kirteha, of glorious. Translation purport by Srila Prabhupada. O Maitreya, O friend of the distress, the glories of the Supreme Lord can alone do good for people all over the world. Therefore, just as bees collect honey from flowers, kindly describe the essence of all topics, the topics of the Lord. Purport. There are many topics for different persons in different modes of material nature, but the essential topics are those in relationship with the Supreme Lord. Unfortunately, materially affected conditioned souls are all more or less averse to topics of the Supreme Lord, because some of them do not believe in the existence of God, and some of them believe only in the impersonal feature of the Lord. In both cases, there is nothing for them to say of God. Both the non-believers and the impersonalists deny the essence of all topics. Therefore, they engage in topics of relativity in various ways, either in sense gratification or in mental speculation. For the pure devotees like Vidura, the topics of both the mundaners and the mental speculators are useless in all respects. Thus, Vidura requested Maitreya to talk of the essence only, the talks of Krishna and nothing else. Oma Jnanati Mirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunvitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Uttapadakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamsha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunathanuitam Tam Sajivam Sadhuitam Sahudutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamsha Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Lagayati Grimit Kripatam Mamande Shri Guru Dinatarinam Vanchakalpataru Vaishya Kripa Sindhu Bhayevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Namo Vishnu Padai Krishna Prishtai Bhutale Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschata Deshatarine Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhaktavrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare Namo Vishnu Vadai Krishna Vishtai Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vikas Swami Niti Namine. I'll just read the translation once. O Maitreya, O friend of the distress, the glories of the Supreme Lord can alone do good for people all over the world. Therefore, just as bees collect honey from flowers, kindly describe the essence of all topics, the topics of the Lord. Hare Krishna. First of all, please forgive me. Like I'm not so good with translations. Like I'm comfortable reading the Sanskrit, but then sometimes some things like I find difficult, and then I drift to English, and then it's I make a lot of mistakes in reciting verses. So please forgive me. So here Vidura is asking Maitreya that he is addressing him that you are the friend of distress, and then he's saying that the glories of the Lord are what that can do good to all the people in the world. So he's telling him to describe that pastimes of Krishna. Means not that pastimes, just the description of anything that is related with Krishna. So normally people in this material world, they are like just slogging day and night, and they don't understand that there is something called distress, and they are just working for the next day. Like we see in India, in Mumbai, many people, or some people are staying in Pune, and they work in Mumbai, and they have to catch the first train at 7 o'clock. So for that they have to get up at maybe 5 o'clock, at least 4:30, 5 o'clock. But if the same people, if you tell them to come for Mangal Aarti on Sundays, you have an off day, daily you get up at the same time. Why don't you come? He says, now, today is the time, just I have one day to rest. So he gets up at 4:30 or maybe 5 o'clock, little bit later if he's. And then he takes bath, he brushes, he takes bath, and he may have some breakfast or tea. And his wife is getting more earlier than what time he is going to get up, because she has to heat water, make breakfast, and even lunch for him, because normally most of them, they don't eat outside. Yeah. So then he reaches by 7 o'clock to the station, and for that he has to get at the bus station at the right time. Like in India, like early morning also sometimes, not heavy traffic, but traffic is there still. And so he gets up, because if he misses the bus, then he has to pay for the auto, and they will overcharge and so many things. And he has the first train at 7:10. Then if he misses that, it is the next train will reach later, and then it will cost him further. So many calculations he has to run about, So, and then he reaches the office at 10 o'clock, and it's almost 5 hours of his day has crossed. Doing nothing for his own welfare. Yeah. Then 10 to 5 he works, or 10 to 6, whatever, and then he catches the next train. And then 6 o'clock or 7 o'clock he catches 7 o'clock, in fact 7 o'clock, around 5:30, 7 o'clock, 6:30, 7 o'clock, like this he catches the next train. He reaches his house maybe after 3 hours, or if he gets the 6 o'clock train, if it is maybe 9:30, reaching his house, it's 10 o'clock. So his whole day is gone. At the end of the day, he has slogged for entire day, like doing nothing for his own welfare. And then he sleeps. Sometimes it happens that if the children are small, Prabhupada says this, or maybe Guru Maharaj, I don't remember. My Guru Maharaj, Bhakti Vikas Maharaj, he says maybe. Sometimes the child, he doesn't see his father whole week, And if he's small, he's astonished, who is this man sometimes. Such a scenario also appears actually. Yeah. Or they hardly get time with their, parents. So, the whole thing is just to curb the material distress. He's trying to do all this thing to gain money and to take care of his family. So, wealth is one distress actually, for which person has to slog like anything. Like in our childhood, our parents used to say, you don't understand the value of this 1 rupee or 10 rupees, you are easily spending it. But when we ourselves earn, then we understand like, oh, even, 1 rupee has value, so much value it has, So, for that wealth, so much he has to work day and night, and he has to bear so much insults at his workplace sometimes. Sometimes the boss wants to, because there are different teams sometimes in an office, and then, 2 individuals, they are leading that team, and then you are from this team, and that person, the team lead from the other team, finds faults in you, and then, One mistake you do and it's like, they will get on your head. So nowadays there is so much work, stress related with work, and at the end of the day he comes, and then if in his griha also he is not getting any peace, means in his house, griha means house, he doesn't get any peace. And he is slogging for these people only, his wife, children, and they feel dissatisfied that he is not able to provide, because they see that there are so many people around them, they are having facilities more better than them. Example, if they are having a two-wheeler, they feel that, we should have a four-wheeler, we should have a big TV, and we should have a big bank balance, and every day we should get a nice amount of pocket money. But this man, he's slogging from 5 o'clock till around 10 o'clock. So 5 hours of sleep, maybe, or 5 to 7 hours of sleep, maybe, and the rest, around 17 hours, he's just working. But the same, if you tell him that one Sunday you come, he finds it so difficult, We tell him that, okay, we have this philosophical disposition, and then we have food also for you, spiritual food, prasadam, everything he knows. But then he says, he's denying to come, So there is no benefit. So people ultimately don't know what is good for them. They are thinking that this thing is good for them, but in the absolute terms, or in the spiritual terms, it's like, it's of no value actually. Shrameo kevalam, it is like. He's just enduring so much, he's slogging. Sometime in our office, I was working in one company in Pune, and they had these extended shifts where you can get extra money, So one boy used to come virtually every day, maybe 3-4 hours. So his travel time plus this, it was going around 10 to 12 hours actually, means half a day, continuously working. And on weekends, like nowadays, whatever work is there in the Western countries, that goes to India, and for there the pay is good. So on weekends they give you extra pay, and they want to. So he was working like this continuously on a month-on-month basis, and one day he came to his workplace, and he passed off. He left his body there only. Yeah, he died. Because regularly he was doing these things. Yeah, so many things are happening. Or people out of distress. They even nowadays, even because of this distress in workplace, and so many people are either getting mental, or they are even going to the verge of killing their colleagues, and so many things, so much politics, and so many things happen. But people, if you tell them that the ultimate good is to surrender to Krishna, and you can do your work, and still you can do devotional, you can practice devotional path, and we all tell these things to them, and they don't want to, because they feel that, okay, if I come to Krishna, then I have to, give my time, and then I will not get money, and all the things that I'm working out, it will not work. So he is not knowing what is the ultimate good. It's like, people don't know what is good and what is, like, for different people, good may be different. The terms may change for the definition of good. Like for a person who has lost his wallet, somebody has stolen his wallet, so it's a bad feeling for him. But for a person who has stolen that, it's a good feeling for that family. One day we had been to this Vallabh Vidyanagar temple in Anand, and somehow we carried this temple cash or something, because early morning to get a train so that we reach on time. Some work was there, and we did our task, and then we were about to leave, and there was this time for Mahaprasadam. Rajbhog was offered to the Lord. So one devotee said, like, now Rajbhog is coming, why don't you honor? But then we had this schedule further, and we thought, maybe we want to have, but then, because of time, we told, you can give us something, Prabhu. Then he gave us some items, and then we left. And then we went to this bus station, and there, this one bus that was carrying us to our place called Baroda, it came, and we were about to catch that bus. But before that, we thought of honoring the little Mahaprasadam, because that devotee told, and we missed on that. And so what happened, next, like the bus, we were trying to get into the bus and it was getting crowded. So, I thought like, let's not get into this bus. But my wife, she entered, and then somebody, the thieves are very clever. The sack was there, and inside his purse of money was there. Around 35,000 cash was there. And that person removed from that and he ran off, And we couldn't get, in a split of seconds he did actually. And, just we would have, then that so many thoughts are coming. We would have just listened to the DOT and honor Prasadam and went, or else, like I suggested my wife, leave this bus and we can just, like I was feeling we should take this Prasadam little bit. So I felt that little bit we could have taken, something would change, many things would have changed. And we virtually, like it was around 12 o'clock or something, that this bus we was catching. Until 4 o'clock we were in Vallabh Vidyanagar. We had to call one DOT book distribution, means who was managing book distribution. We called him and he said that we want to go, but then we have money in our accounts, but we are not carrying any debit card, cash card, credit card. So can you come? And he said okay. And some people, they observed us and they saw us as devotees. And somebody offered us some money, They gave some 100 rupees. I said, you can give us your number and we can pay you after online, like this we said. And till that time this duty also arrived, so we were ready to give them, but then they said it is okay, not in a hurry. So, but then still 4 o'clock, because we observed some people, suspicious people, and they were taken to the police station, but nothing happened. Because there is normally, I don't know, here also or in India also, there is nexus between the thieves and the police also sometimes. And although these people were brought, this like it's just like a drama or something. And the policemen, they showed some sympathy. So at the end of the day, it's like, it was a bad situation for us, but then for the thief, it was a very, it's a big day, It's like bonus, Diwali bonus or something like for him. So it was good for him, But the definition of good here is, like, if you see, the thief is stealing, but he has to suffer later. So people don't know what is ultimate good for them. And so, he's saying that, Vidur is saying that, Maitreya to tell what is the ultimate good for the people in general. So, he says that, therefore, just as bees collect honey from flowers, kindly describe the essence of all topics, the topics of the Lord. So, just when I was going through this, I thought, like, how do honeys collect the bees? Let's go through that. And this I went through, and it's a big procedure, Like, first the honeybees, they have to go and find some flowers where they will get a lot of nectar. So, and it's not so easy, like getting through one flower, and then it's not so easy that to go on this flower, and it's like humans, at least they know, that, like we know that, like if you go for book distribution, we know sometimes that this person may take this book, or some senior suggests that you go and approach him, because of their experience. But then there is like bees, who's going to tell them, you have to work on this flower. Like we tell, like, today we want bhakta stacks for the day, or we want saptas to be made. So we have a plan and we know the outline, what is to be done further and which is the requirement. But then for them it's like, they have to go, like it's, to get this flower, more than 50 to 100 flowers they have to go. To just gather a little bit of honey. Because how much is it that they are going to carry? So then, next thing they have to do is, whatever the honey they have collected, they have to store that. And to store that means to get good amount of honey, you should be having immense strength. In their terms, they have this, straw-like tongues they have, and there they collect this honey from the flowers. And then they have to store it in a safer way. And they bring it they have to bring it also in a safer way, and then keep it in their hive, and then that also has to be protected. So it's like, like 5 to 6 steps are involved. So bees get their honey and then they store, and then they have to, the procedure goes further and they dry it, and then, some human comes and then he sees, good honeycomb, and then he just takes, in India they just burn fire, make it fall down, and just collect all the honey. So like that, this, I share this example of this person working in Mumbai. He's slogging so day and night he's slogging. And then somehow, some taxmen, they come and they collect, like whatever honey he has collected in the form of money and wealth. Now taxation is so high in the West, I don't know, but in India it's high. And then, say GST and this T and that T and so many. It's like what we are going to see at the end of Kali Yuga. It's like unimaginable, like it's virtually you're not going to get anything. You will be working like slaves maybe. So everybody is, just collecting that, whatever money is accumulated, the taxmen are collecting, their children, his wife, everybody is taking from him. So he's left with, just the fire to bear. Means the brunt he is bearing, but then everybody else is plundering. Like the honeybees, they are slogging so much day and night. But then what happens? At the end of the day, some human comes and he takes away the whole honey. So, of course, that is one thing to take from there. And if you see that here Vidura is telling to Maitreya that how the honeybees, they collect the essence from the flower, They don't go into any other thing, but they know where to collect the honey. So, like that, you tell the essential essence from the Vedas or from the scriptures. That is the glories of the Supreme Lord. So, in this way, means everything has, something for us actually, from which we can learn. Like daily basis, if we see so many things around us, like we see outsiders, they are having so many conflicts and so many disturbances. So, if we compare themselves to ourselves, then we should be thanking the Lord, We are having such a scenario where, we have little bit of conflicts and little bit of maybe distresses, or if distress, there are no distresses in spiritual life, but then, it's on the condition of our mind, we feel this is distress or this is trouble. So, if we compare that to outsiders, then it would be very comfortable for us. Because the way their every day is passing on, they are coming nearer to death, and their further life, according to whatever karma they have done, whatever deeds they have done, it is going to be difficult. Even a family man slogging, and if he is a vegetarian, still he is going to go through the brunt of Yamraj, and he has to face all the consequences, that because of neglecting his duty towards the Supreme Lord. So, just when I was going through this, I found this continuation of different texts from the Srimad Bhagavatam, these verses, which describes, how important it is to understand the glories of the Supreme Lord, to glorify Him, to respect and honor His devotees, and to have a good relationship with the devotees, and listen to these topics of the Supreme Lord. So just when I was going through that, through just preparing this, and then I got these beautiful verses from the Srimad Bhagavatam, 2nd Canto, 3rd chapter, verse 17 onwards. We'll just go through that. So the description is like, the verse is Ayur Harati Vai Pumsam Udhyan Ashtam Cha Yan Aso Tasyarti Yat Shano Nita Uttam Shloko Vartaya. So both by rising and by setting, the sun decreases the duration of life of everyone, except one who utilizes the time by discussing topics of all good personality of Godhead. So here we see that it's described that by rising and setting of the sun every day, whatever chance we are getting to glorify the Supreme Lord, we should be thankful to everyone and anyone who is making that available to us, or who is stressing that to us, that you should read this, or you should not waste your time for anything else apart from Krishna consciousness. But sometimes we feel, that person is like being too much on me or too much stressing on this thing. But then, a person who understands things the way they are actually, that person will only try to guide you in a beneficial path. Like if you ask some outsiders, what's new for him, then it will be new that, I voted for Harris, but then Trump came and this thing and that thing, and we voted for, in India it will be different game. So many things. Somebody you want to abort the child, he will say, I wanted to support him, and why did he come, and so many things will happen. So their time passes just discussing all the filth in the world. In our temple, like in Baroda, I was sitting one day, I was going for morning chanting, and then this all group of old people were sitting, and they were like, one of them was playing some Hindi movie song. So I said, you came to this place, at least, I accept whatever you are doing outside is okay, it's your life. But at least here you can talk about Krishna, and you are Gujaratis, and it's like, most Gujaratis, if you meet them, they'll say, Jai Shri Krishna. Means, all glory to the Supreme Lord Krishna. So you are Gujaratis, you honor the Supreme Lord, it is His place, and then you are playing this song from some Hindi movie, and just, what's the use of all these things? And then he stopped, and then after that, after my going, they still continue with their gossip. So, the point is, they have so many things, like old age at least, your youth has gone. Like it is said that the childhood goes in playthings. In India we have so many things to play, like we have marbles, we have cricket, we have football, then we have hide and seek. Here, like for you also, there may be so many games. I know you all will be, at this moment your mind will be there, in my childhood I used to play this thing. So, see, that pleasure that we are thinking that, that wastage of time that we did in childhood, that time, whole time is lost right from 1 year till, around 15, sometimes for somebody it's still 18, it's completely childhood for them. And they don't have any responsibilities, and that time goes in just playing, doing nothing. Isn't it? So, and then in youth, it's like, like the birds, they find a female companion or a male companion. Then the youthie finds the youth, or the girl finds the boy, or the boy finds the girl. Nowadays, this is like a trend going on everywhere in the world, Like if you are alone, you are like, there is some problem with you, maybe something they feel. So everybody around us is having a companion, and so we are also, we also think, oh, what about me? I am the distressed, But in that distress also, he is not going to Krishna. He is finding some movie theme, and where he can gain some idea to gain that man or woman's, heart, Of course, that woman's heart or the man's heart has so much desires, for their own gratification in that. They don't know this thing. Or they know, but they are like, they are bewildered by this Hollywood or Bollywood. They think that, okay, I'll get a life partner and a lover, and I'll enjoy, and I'll hold her hand, and I'll give this flower, and so much, it's like a big balloon is blown, and then, suddenly some villain comes and it spins, and then it's like, he comes to reality. And sometimes out of distress, like many people, like out of distress, they come to the temple and they say, I was giving some classes on Sundays, so I met some people and they used to they said, why Krishna is doing like this? I have this person in my life and he did like this. And so I said, did you ask Krishna before getting this person in? Did you check with Krishna whether Krishna, this girl or this boy is good for me or no? You didn't check, then why you are complaining to Krishna? People will come, complaining to Krishna that this is happening and why you did this to me, and if this day was to come, then why didn't you intervene? I had this one girl, I do this service for arranging marriages for devotees, and one girl from India, Lucknow or Patna, maybe she approached me, and then I said, okay. And while I asked some details for the profile, I said, this is what I have. I said, if you have this is what, then I don't have anything for you. Because I want this details, and this way you can give, then I can give you. So then in that some caste is also to be mentioned, because some devotees, their parents, they still, they want to go in that, means that's a good way to go, that they want to have people from the same origin or same caste, because they gel up nicely. So then further things came, and she started, in the speech she started saying that why Krishna has given such a boring procedure of chanting, why we can't sing. And she was following some kirtaniyas, that's what I understood. Immediately she took, I said, whom do you follow? And she took some name of kirtaniyas in India, and I understood, like, this is the problem, I said, he himself is initiated, he's chanting, why don't you chant? So India or in the West also this name GKD is popular. So this person, he's also initiated, he's chanting, why don't you follow? He says, no, why Krishna has to give such a boring procedure, we have to sit and take the names, why we can't just sing, and I have written some songs. I said, if you can't, now Krishna, you are saying, and that same person is saying, that Krishna is not, why he has given, later she said, why Krishna has given free will? If he knew that we are going to suffer so much, he had some problem, something. I said, if Krishna has given free will, because you can decide what is good for you, and he has given the scripture to decide, and the scripture is telling that you should chant 60, the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, you should follow the 4 regulatory principles. She was complaining about the 4 regulatory principles, so why we should not eat, why we can't eat, everything is Krishna's energy, and so many things he was giving. So I said, if Krishna is telling here, why can't you follow now? You have a problem with Krishna's giving you free will also, and you have a problem that Krishna, because he's stressing that this thing should be done. So he's guiding you also every moment. And the person you are following, he is a kirtaniya or whatever, he is also following, he is chanting, he is following 4 regulatory principles, he is initiated from this spiritual master. So then why don't you follow? But then, that decided, I said, and she got it, means it was a 5-10 minute conversation, and then she started again. I said, then if you are getting offensive, you don't chant, but then don't get offensive towards the Lord or his devotees, that they are given this procedure, and why it is required, and we can just sing kirtans. But then, why can't you just follow Krishna? So these people, all the people in the world, they have their own conception and their own ideas. And this way, every day they are just passing on, doing nothing. Or just offending the Lord or his devotees. And that way they are, making a pathway straight to hell, So, here this verse that we read, it was describing that every moment that is crossing, you have a chance to get connected with Krishna or dissociate from him. Yeah. So, if you utilize 5 minutes given by Krishna, in a better way, like you have 5 minutes, you can recite verses, you can listen to a lecture, you can do any service. Like even you go for in the washroom, and then you want to get water for yourself, and there is another empty mug. You can just pull it. That is just that time. You have utilized to serve somebody, maybe for the purpose you all know. But then that is a devotee whose time you have saved. And means you utilize your time. Maybe you come for offering, instead of going down, you can just do your Gayatri and just read something sitting from the Bhagavatam. So that 10-20 minutes if you utilize, then Krishna will give you another 10-20 minutes, Because how you will get, because then whatever you are reading about him, by that we will get that spiritual piety, and of course knowledge. We will also get knowledge, by which we like to go further in that. Like I was finding for this, for this verse, like what are the essentials that we can get, and then different things I read, so many things I read, and like just preparing for this, and then Like sometimes we are not able to describe everything and any that we have read during the preparation. So, but then whatever time you utilize, that goes into your credit, in your spiritual credits. Like, it's like, sometimes it's somebody's has charged 100%, then his mobile battery will be 100%, isn't it? And somebody has, put his pin but not put it properly. Then whatever charge was 20%, so it will be there only. So if we remain stagnant in devotional life, then the charge, although we are connected to the Supreme Lord, but then, we are not taking His shelter. So it's like we are not getting, then how come, our progress in Krishna consciousness will happen? So for that, we have to do small endeavors, at least on a daily basis. Some things, we should change. Like maybe if you are reading for this much hours, we can just increase a little bit at least. Or if you are not good at verses, then we can start reciting. And means there may be some mistakes happening, and slowly you can get into that habit. It may be with anything, like you want to learn cooking, so that you have to sit with the cook, just observe him, give your time, energy. That is, that is also devotional service. You are giving your eyes and ears to what he's telling and how he's doing, then you are this is not just any work you are doing, it's just utilization of your means your time in an actual way. Because time is also Krishna, he's one of the proofs for all activities that we are doing. So it's noted, instead of Chitragupt, it's Vishnu Dutas or then keeping records. Okay, this 10 minutes he was his devotee and he was learning Kartal, or he was learning garlands in his extra time, or he was learning cooking, or he just found some dirt and he started cleaning, or he just filled a mug for the devotee to go in the washroom. So, so many things just by, you never know that who is going to use that. Like everybody is greedy for, like if some senior Prabhupada disciples come, everybody is greedy for service. We should be. But then it should be for every devotee, every devotee. We don't know who is going to go where or what is his level, we don't know. So we should treat devotees very carefully. And this happens, that this should be done on a day-to-day basis. The first thing we should cut down is like even general gossip or discussing his nature or what happened in his family and where he came from. Sometimes it happens that we start with a joke and then it goes on in detail and we get into offense mode. So we should be very careful. Specifically with devotees, we should be like, it should be like, like with fire, how we are careful. One mistake, like lighter if you hold little tilted and it burns your fingers. I was in the kitchen day before yesterday, preparing for the feast, and then this black lighter we have, the new one, which we press, and that I feel comfortable actually. And from all the lighters, I just pulled that one, and I didn't knew, I had hold that in a reverse way. And I pressed that button and the fire came, if you see. And that's, like you don't know, like any moment, suddenly you are just using some razor and immediately a cut happens and, So suddenly things go difficult for us. So like every moment we should be careful. So the point is, similarly we should be with devotees. Because devotee is like, they are the link towards Krishna. And if you are not careful with devotees, then don't think that you will go directly to jump to Krishna. It's not going to happen. Like if somebody slams my son, like do you think that I am going to, take some incense and offer him and then take Panchadeep and then I'll offer him water and handkerchief and flowers. Do you think that will I do like that? Anybody here will be doing like that? for their relatives or friends or mother or father, anybody. No. So similarly, the devotees are so close, Krishna is in love with his devotees. We see that in many pastimes, just the pastimes of Damodar Leela that we are reciting every day, that he surrenders to his devotees. So it's just because of Yashoda Mai he is ready to, catch hold of him. Or just because of Yashoda Mai's perspiration, he is seeing that, and then he is surrendering. So what do you think, that any devotee that you are living with and you will go anyway and Krishna will overlook that? Do you think Krishna is partial just for you? He is partial to his devotees, but for him, every devotee is of course there are pure devotees and there are mixed and there are somebody, on that, even on a lower platform. But then for him, somehow out of so many millions of jivas, this devotee, this person has surrendered to him. So much that person is dear to him. And if you are, if you hurt him or if you are ignorant towards his needs or towards him, so, then you are missing a chance to come closer to Krishna. We hear these pastimes, maybe it's Sanatana Goswami, that one handicapped person came, and Rup Goswami, and he was relishing that pastime, and in that he just smiled, and then, he was enlightened and he understood that, on his platform it was not like that, but then still for the general masses to learn, he took that position where he thought that maybe I offended this. And you may not have offended that person, maybe by your the way you are dealing, or by the way you are just by your reactions, or you may not have reacted, but then the person has got offended. Then what happens? Then the reactions start. By mistake also, if you put some, salt little bit more in some vegetable, then it's going to be salty. It's not that it's going to stop because you are a devotee, or you are initiated, or you are a Brahman initiate, or you are a sannyasi, or whatever it may be. That is going to have its reactions, isn't it? Sometimes in pakora, if you put that soda a little bit here and there, and that instead of becoming soft, they become hard also, So many things, like in our everyday we can learn so many things if we are open to learn. So, like that, in every actions that we are doing, we should be careful, specifically devotees, and that's the way we can get Krishna's mercy. So, in the verse that we are going through, there it was described that in the purport, if you see that there are different topics for different people in the material according to their modes. Like somebody, they are attracted to topics of ghost, and somebody who they like murder mystery, and somebody like the pastimes of the Supreme Lord. So that is according to their modes. So like somebody who's in the mode of passion, he'll like to read like Mahabharata or something that is interesting. But then of course he's not affected by the modes there. Because he has that mode, but then he is, like Bhishma Pitama, he like this, to show his courage, and so the Lord interacted with him that way. So different devotees have different proclivities that can be used. Like we are in different modes. So if our Brahminical nature, we can just study the scriptures and enlighten others and teach others also, and bring them we can tell them regulations in easy way, because we ourselves are following that. Or somebody who's not able to, but then still to help others he has to tell, but then in helping him he has to correct himself also. So then according to the different modes, there are different topics for different people. And here we see that sometimes the people sometimes or the most of the times, the people in the material world, they are averse to the Supreme Lord, or they are not interested in the Supreme Lord. it's because they themselves think that they are the enjoyers of all around. They are the enjoyers, and if they are the enjoyers, then everything that is around them is meant for them. So here there are two kinds of people who don't come to two kind of men are described. One are the non-believers and the other are the impersonalists. So the non-believers, they may have disbelief in Krishna because of various reasons, because of their own karma in the past and in the present. Like I had with this one friend of mine, and like we stayed with each other for more than 3-4 years, and he was a South Indian. So Gopal Arumugam, something his name was, surname Arumugam. So he was from a Hindu family, and so he later turned out to be atheist. Like he was such an atheist. Like if you tell him this is prasadam and he's eating that, he'll remove from his mouth and throw it. Like that, the stage came. So I asked him, why you don't believe in all these things? And he said, yeah, his father had such this neck. If he had to see backside, he had to turn wholly. Means his neck didn't move like ours. And he said that we went to different places and different pilgrims and so many things we did. But then, still my father's neck is not, it has not, the posture has not changed and he's not able to move. And then we never know. His father's karma may be, his father has done some bad karma because of which he is in such a disease condition or in such a condition where he can't turn his neck. And so he became a non-believer, and later he started following some another faith. And that too, when he was following, he was doing all the things that he had to do. So there may be reasons where we are adamant, why the Supreme Lord is not doing the way I want. So here you want to be an enjoyer. So most of the cases, it's like the jivas, if their sense gratification is not satisfied, in that case they want to show disbelief in the Lord. Or if they say that this one advocate in India, Kapil Sibbal, is saying that if the Lord is there, why earthquake happened in this city and why these children died, and why didn't he ask that why I became a lawyer? That the same Lord gave you this sanction and you are the biggest lawyer in India and so many things he gave you, isn't it? When you have something glorious or you have wealth and all the things in the world, that time you don't question why he is giving to me only. Why doesn't he give to my neighbor, or why he's not giving to the, like somebody losing, he may say, I didn't become president, what was Christ doing here? So, yeah, it's like, the people voted and maybe your karma is there. Like in my last lecture, I told about these two brothers, Ambani families. One is like a total bankrupt today and the other one is growing like anything. So it's like our own karma. If you have $10 in your credit card, you can spend 10 only, not 10.01 also. You all know these things. Sometimes we go for a payment and it's like 0.01, it's like extra, and then we have to cut down on one thing. If you have $1,000, you can spend like anything. 1,000 you can spend, not 1,000.001 also. So, in the same way, whatever good, bad karma we are doing or we have done in the past, that is only going to be served to us. So Krishna is not partial to anybody actually. Of course, the devotees, they are surrendering, so he is giving them, the devotees are ready to accept that Krishna is saying, Sarva Dharman Parityaja Mam Ekam Sharanam, that surrender unto me and I will relieve you of all the sins. So that devotee is giving faith. Somebody will feel, how he can cure me from so many sins? How is it possible? You may question. Sometimes anything can distract us from devotional life. Like we are in Pune, and then at one point they started a separate program for the initiated devotees and non-initiated devotees. So somebody who was coming to the temple from 10 years, he still didn't get initiated. And when this differentiation happened, that for the initiated devotees there should be a program where they can go further, more into all the details. And then the person started saying, oh, they are differentiating, why this differentiation should happen. But then he himself has to ask himself a question, why didn't I get initiated? If you don't get Mahaprasad, sometimes the spiritual master Mahaprasad, or you don't get. Sometimes a fortune you can get, but then you should ask, why am I being stagnant there only? Why I don't want to go further in spiritual life? So then he started, he said, I don't want to come to the temple, the devotees are discriminating, and this and that. But the same person, if he goes to his office and if he sees discrimination, he'll say, okay, what can be done? Politics happens everywhere. And this is the way, and that is the way. So many reasons we have for our sense gratification. But there is one reason we don't find, to please a devotee or to please Krishna. So, everywhere that chance is there to, drift from spiritual life or to come closer to Krishna. So this non-belief comes when we are, either we are offending the Supreme Lord or His devotees, or we are not appreciating, what we have got according to our karma. Nothing less or more you are going to get. You have a big feast and then suddenly, your stomach is upset or something and you can't enjoy. Or you have a big festival and suddenly, some person in your family dies and you have to leave there. You had so many plans for the day. But then it's ultimately Mother Nature, she serves, the way your karma is there. And sometimes you are forced to, it's better to understand the easy way, By surrendering to Krishna and His devotees, they are telling, do these things, this will help you. Do this thing, do it, don't eat this thing. Don't behave like that. Give some time for, sit with the devotees and chant. Show affection to the devotees. So many things the Lord is trying to tell through, directly or sometimes indirectly to someone. Like Prabhupada was told by one person, one doctor, that you should have morning walks, that is good for you, And Prabhupada took it seriously. And that's why we see, and it was so helpful for us also, because in morning was there to have this conversation, we have that too. So, Prabhupada took it seriously. Prabhupada took these messages, somebody told that instead of this magazine, you should print books, because that has value. And Prabhupada took it seriously. Because magazine people may tear and throw, it's like back to order magazines also or anything. Of course, if they don't have value, they are going to give Bhagavatam also. I have collected one full set of Bhagavatam. I was passing on through one bridge and then this person, collecting all this scrap. He had this whole set of Bhagavatam, only one was missing. And I got it in 300 rupees from him. And I gave it to him in this Nandagram community. I gave it to them. So, of course, if they don't have value, they are going to do. But then Prabhupada took this, this magazines they will throw. It's just few papers, okay. He'll tear and maybe clean the table or something like that. But books, okay, this has, in material sense also, that has value and then they are going to keep. So, that way, the thing is, so many things are going to be there for the non-believers to go with. So, and there is another category that is described, that impersonalist. So, impersonalist means he thinks that he is the only person in the world actually, and the Supreme Lord is not the person, and any other jiva is like, he is not the person, because his conception is like, I am the enjoyer. Prabhupada tells in his introduction to Bhagavad Gita that two things that pull us, that has brought us in this material world. One is that I think that I am the enjoyer, and everything, then if I am the enjoyer, everything should be, everything around is meant for me only, for my enjoyment. So the impersonalists, they think that, they don't understand this conception, or they don't want to understand this conception that the Lord is a person. If He is a person, then he's expecting similar interactions with him, Like if you are a person, like you like to somebody to give you some nice spiritual food, or maybe like if you are devotees, or somebody to speak nicely, in a glorious way, or maybe in a way that it's suiting to your ears. So like that. So although Krishna, to pull out this ignorance, he does so many pastimes of his, where he shows that he is a person and he reciprocated as a deity, whether it is as Lord Jagannath, who took the coconut from the hand of his devotee gave a coconut and he took from the Panda, Pujari, because his devotee desired that he should, Dasya Bora his name was, he should take coconut right from your hand, Jagannath, then only give or don't give. He had this condition. And Jagannath, he came and he took that coconut from his hand and went away. And that Panda, who was serving the Lord for so many years, he was astonished that this person who is not even a devotee, he doesn't come to the temple also, and his coconut is accepted by the Lord. So the Lord interacted, and these pastimes are recorded. Or the Lord as Sakshi Gopal, he came to, be a judge between two interaction of two Brahmanas. We don't have time, but you all must have read. If you have not read, please read, because this kills our impersonal nature also. Because the Lord is interacting with others, why can't he? He will interact with me also. Of course, because they are on the pure platform, where he will, where they are non-envious of him and his devotees. So many descriptions are there, which we read, we understand that Lord is a person and interaction with him happens in a personal way. So that interactions we see around ourselves also sometimes. Like people, who have this impersonal nature, they don't interact with each other, There is no, like if you put water and maybe oil, they remain separate. So people with impersonal nature, we put them together, they will stay separate only. They want their own identity. But then people with personal nature, what will happen? They will get into that. They will mix. Like milk and water, if you mix, after some time, if you put, like in India, most of the milkmen, they put water, But they are very clever to put, you feel it's milk, but you understand they put water, but you can't prove it. So like that. So milk and water, they gel up so nicely that you can't differentiate. If it is mixed in a right quantity, then you understand that it's like we in India, like at the end when we cut that pouch and put milk, and whatever milk is there inside, for that we'll put little water, wriggle it, and then put that in the milk, because it doesn't go waste. So it's not seen that, okay, there is water. So like that, people with personal nature, they'll gel up and they will interact, and their dealings will go further. So it's up to, we can, these interactions, whatever we are doing here, that's the interaction that are going to go further with the Lord. Because it's not that you are interacting with his devotees in a personal way and you are going to be impersonal. I don't think so. There are too much of chances of that. But then, if you are being impersonal with devotees, then that will go in every interaction. It will go to your spiritual master, it will go to the Supreme Lord, it will go every place. So, for that we have to, give this nature. Like yesterday, Prabhu was describing like how in India the workers gather and, if you are at that place, he has seen, even many of us have seen that they quarrel like anything. Like dogs you have seen in India. Here you don't get to see, but in India, here the third will join them. And such quarrel happens. And then after some time, they will come and, try to smother the other dog, or you have seen that interaction here sometimes. Here you don't get to see, but in India get to see. So, similarly, these people, they quarrel, and after half an hour, they're they're getting one cup of tea and the other will take. So that way it should be, devotees should be with each other, mix up. So that interactions, it was just so many things we see. Like another word we discussed yesterday, like Guru Maharaj was telling that this word in India is used a lot. Adjust karo. Adjust is what? Which is this word? Is it English, Hindi, Gujarati? Which word is this? English or Hindi? English. But it has come into the Indian dictionary or Indian vocabulary. Adjust karo. Means every place they think that, okay, let's adjust. Like I'll tell you one example. Indian trains are crowded. You all have been, whoever are not gone through. Maybe mostly when you go to India, you travel in third AC, second AC. Sometimes you can travel in sleeper also. And sleeper has a different, different characters you get to see. And sometimes if you go through third AC and they're totally, sometimes third AC and second AC. Second AC means impersonal. Then third AC means little personal, they will go few of them. And first is sleeper means it's like personal. And what do you say? In general, if you go, it's like, Vrindavan Bhav house. At the end of the journey, you can see they can quarrel, they will share food, and so many things will happen. So it's like you come and you have your book seat in the sleeper. These 3 seats are there, 1, 2, 3. And the person comes, he wants to get down after 2 hours or after half an hour. He comes and sits. Okay. Then the next person comes, thoda, means little bit, can you little bit move? I said, we have seat. Just next station I'm getting out. Next station maybe half an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours. And sometimes it's like 5, 6 people and they said, okay, let him sit. We also feel, okay, we have a long journey, let him sit. Or you can go up and my seat is there. So many adjustments happen. So these things we should do, Or else, in third AC or second AC, sometimes people are like, oh, bad behind. I'm okay. Here in India or Indians also we get near this Patel verse, I am good. What you are good? You are become puffed up coming here. You read this book. We tell many Gujaratis, you come here, you got all the things by the mercy of the Lord. Kuch daan karo, we say, donate something. And Gujaratis, they donate. South Indians, we tell them about, the glories of the Lord, they take books. So, like that means this nature we can curb by, of course, we are reading Bhagavatam and that helps. And yesterday I shared one shloka which I'll share and then we'll end up. So, it's, how glorious is the Srimad Bhagavatam. This is from the Srimad Bhagavatam 12th canto, 13th chapter, 14th verse, where I'll just read the translation. It is described, all other Puranic scriptures shine forth in the assembly of saintly devotees only as long as that great ocean of nectar, Srimad Bhagavatam, is not heard. And the purport is also equally beautiful. 12, 13, 14. Purport. Other Vedic literatures and other scriptures of the world remain prominent until the Srimad Bhagavatam is duly heard and understood. Srimad Bhagavatam is the ocean of nectar and the supreme literature. By faithful hearing, recitation and distribution of Srimad Bhagavatam, the world will be sanctified and other inferior literature will fade to minor status. So if you want people to throw their garbage from their houses, then we have to give them Srimad Bhagavatam. That is the glories of Krishna, we have to give them. Yeah? Okay, Hare Krishna. Anybody has any question, we can just have one or maybe. Or any doubts, any protests, anything you can tell. Anybody has question over here? Any Prabhus? Matajis? No? Okay. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Shri Prabhupada ki jai. Vishnu Padaya Krishna Vishnu.